You might have seen the viral video on TikTok and other social media platforms of a black sea devil anglerfish found swimming towards the surface of the ocean. Even with its sharp fangs and otherworldly bioluminescent lure, viewers of the video found the humanity inside of them to feel pity for the creature, who seemed lost and out of its usual element, the deep sea. The belief that the creature was swimming up to the surface of the ocean to see the light before it died was actually a misconception. Rather, scientists found that it could have been a variety of reasons, including getting caught in rising water from an underwater fissure.
Whatever the reason for it being found so high in the water column, the video went viral because of how rare it is to see the creature so close to land. This just goes to show how unfamiliar the deep ocean is to humans. It's so far removed from our usual day-to-day experience that it's fascinating. The ocean covers around 70% of the planet, but only around 5% has ever been explored. That means humans have never explored 95% of the ocean. However, the ocean is still the largest living space for organisms on Earth, so there is an almost immeasurable amount of discoveries to be made about the ocean.
The ocean has many zones, starting with the epipelagic zone, also known as the sunlight zone, which is where 90% of marine life lives. The next zone is the mesopelagic zone, better known as the twilight zone. It starts 200 meters down and ends at around 1,000 meters. This is the last zone humans are able to be in without being crushed by the water pressure. Right under the twilight zone is the bathypelagic zone, or the midnight zone. And scientists' only way of exploring it is with submarines or robots equipped with cameras and remote control hands. The last zone before the seafloor is the abyssopelagic zone, and it starts at 4,000 meters down and ends at 9,000. You would think that's where it ends, but actually it goes down one more layer into the hadal zone, which is the trenches of the ocean, and goes down to almost 11,000 meters.
These open ocean zones and sections of the seafloor have all been discovered through exploration done by scientists, who have come a long way in expanding the knowledge humans have about the ocean. In the 1840s, a scientist named Edward Forbes came up with a theory called the abyssus theory, which states that the farther down in the water column one goes, the less variety of marine life there is, and that there was no possible way that life could exist at the bottom of the ocean. He believed that the ocean was completely vacant below 550 meters. However, this has since been disproven due to efforts done by today's scientists to explore the deep sea.
This desire to explore stems from a type of curiosity called epistemic curiosity. It is the type of curiosity that is exclusive to humans, and it is the desire to learn for the purpose of gaining knowledge rather than just as a stimulation of the brain. In other words, it is learning to learn. The reason that scientists have a drive to explore the ocean is because it expands the database that humans have. Exploring nature has long been an important aspect of humanity.
To get down into the deeper parts of the ocean, scientists use submarines, either manned or remote control operated. Unlike space exploration, it is uncommon for scientists to stay down in the ocean for long periods of time. So when scientists want to explore, they use unmanned submarines with built-in cameras and robotic arms that can be controlled by the scientist. Autonomous underwater vehicles, or AUVs, have no cable needed to bring them back to the surface. Rather, they have to be pre-programmed before exploring. An HOV is a human-operated vehicle that carries the scientists themselves to the deep sea to explore and see firsthand what is hidden in the depths of the ocean. Remotely operated vehicles, or ROVs, can be steered remotely from the surface of the water, but they are linked through a cable which limits their mobility.
Using these ocean exploration machines, scientists have found various forms of life surviving in these deep ocean conditions that may seem impossible for organisms to thrive in. They're able to live in these conditions because of their various adaptations and traits that land animals do not possess. From the standpoint of Forbes with his abyssus theory, there was no way of knowing that life was possible in the depths of the sea. On the contrary, he did not even consider that their way of life could just be so different from those of land animals that it is unimaginable without exploration and discovery.
One of these discovered ocean animals is the jellyfish. Jellyfish are abundant in the deep sea with a variety of shapes, colors, and sizes. Jellyfish have a unique adaptation called bioluminescence, in which an animal can create light that comes directly from glands in their body, called photophores. They use the light to attract prey and save energy. It can also be used to scare away predators, the strong flash of light to disorient an attacker, so the jellyfish can get away.
Another well-known example of one of these adaptations is counterillumination, which is when the underside of a sea creature is bioluminescent as a way to camouflage itself. For example, if another organism were to look up at a cookie cutter shark, it would not see a shadow in comparison to the dim light coming from the sun, because of the cookie cutter shark's counterillumination on its underside.
Siphonophores are creatures in the deep sea that seem alien compared to any humans on land. They consist of many tiny zooids that create a colony. They all work together to make one functioning creature. Though they have the same genetic makeup, they each have a purpose. For example, some of them specialize in feeding or moving or buoyancy. Because they constantly clone themselves, they are effectively immortal.
While exploring the ocean of Chile, scientists have found a unique and strange creature, dubbed the walking fish. Although its name has fish in it, the walking fish is actually a type of sea toad. Its skin is made up of tiny, beetle-like hairs, and it has holes along its body that are used for its sensory organs. It has large, flat fins that it uses to walk along the seafloor as a way to save energy and hunt.
In the deep sea, food is hard to come by, so many animals let food come to them. Some animals, like jellyfish, anglerfish, and sharks, use bioluminescence. They also slow down their movement to preserve more of their energy. Another strategy for hunting while still preserving energy is vertical migration. While the sun sets, fish and zooplankton migrate from the depths of the ocean hundreds of meters up towards the surface to feast upon the phytoplankton that grew during the day. Bigger animals migrate up as well to eat the smaller ones. Lots of deep sea creatures have very low metabolisms as an adaptation to the lack of food.
All of these discoveries would never have been made if humans were not willing to explore the deep sea. From Forbes' abysses theory to now, the knowledge that humanity has about the deep sea has increased exponentially due to the extensive exploration of the depths. This goes to show how, over time, the things that humans thought that they knew change and grow. Forbes made an assumption that life could not exist in the deep ocean, and the fact that he has since been proven wrong shows the importance of scientific advancement. If current scientists had just believed Forbes' theory and never used their epistemic curiosity as a drive to further their knowledge about the deep sea, then we would have never known about things like the walking fish or siphonophores.
It can be hard to try something new, but trying new things and being curious about the world is how we learn. If no one stepped outside their comfort zone, we wouldn't have cars or planes or rocket ships. And we need more people who want to explore and create. Without them, the world would be a very boring place.
Thank you.